All right, welcome everyone to the first guitar build on this channel. Let's talk a little bit about what this is going to be and why I am in Fusion 360 instead of the workshop right now. So traditionally, when I've built electric guitars, I've bought either acrylic or MDF templates online and then use those as router templates to make the body. Obviously, that's a little bit limiting in what you can actually make. Things like the Telecaster and the Strat are great and all, but I'd like to try to do it a little bit more custom and get my hands a little bit dirty in Fusion 360 and using the CNC to make some of my own shapes. Now this one is not my own shape. I did draw it myself, but it is obviously based on the Jazzmaster. And I'm not going to go into the details in this video on actually how I modeled this. I can save that for another one. There's much better videos on YouTube on how to model a guitar body. The geometry on this is all over the place, but we can save that for a later date. So anyways, what we're gonna do instead of actually cutting this whole body out and all the cavities is in this video we're just gonna cut out the contour out of a half-inch thick piece of MDF, and that'll give me a router template to come in and do the rest of it by hand, or rather cut the hardwood out by hand. And then I'll cut another body template, except it'll have obviously the pockets and whatnot. The end goal is to hopefully end up with something like this. You can see here that I've modeled the pick guard. Of course, it's going to look pretty similar to other Jazzmasters or Jaguars, and then I've modeled the neck as well. I spent quite a bit of time in here trying to mess with the neck shape and everything. And I just can't quite figure it out. And so instead of letting the CNC do all of the work here and all the shapes and geometry, we'll do the same thing for the neck where we just follow the contour of it, and then do the neck carve and everything else by hand. So anyways, follow along. Hopefully this turns out to look something like this. All right, so the first thing to do, obviously, before we cut anything on the CNC is to try to make some stock for it. So I took some measurements within Fusion 360 and found that the best size box or square to cut this out of is 16 by 20. So that's what I'm doing here, is just ripping down this half-inch thick MDF to 16 by 20. It's important to note too, not to trust the sticker on it that says half-inch. It landed more about 0.46 or 0.465 thick. Which meant that I would have put a nice sized groove right in the CNC wasteboard, which I like to avoid if possible. Between the modeling of the original guitar in Fusion 360 and the recording of this video, I decided I would cut out the entire body shape with the curves and contours and pockets in this roughly 2-inch thick foam board from the hardware store. I wanted to really be able to see what the guitar was going to look like, and kind of feel it on the hands and make sure the shape was all good before getting too far into it. It also makes for a really nice guide to see where to put the clamps to make sure that the CNC won't crash into anything. If you're familiar with the CNC, you're also probably familiar with this blue tape NCA glue technique to hold down material. Obviously, since I was going to cut the entire contour of the guitar body, there'd be nothing holding it to the table. So my only goal was just to get a little bit of tape there in the center to hold it. I wasn't going to cut the contour with any tabs just in case it interfered with the routing in the future. I decided to leave off a clamp on the front. I figured there's going to be enough pressure from the 3 other clamps to hold it just fine. And you'll see here in a second I end up removing the little dowel pins for alignment. For my cam settings, I decided to take 1/16 of an inch passes with this 1/4 inch end mill. I might have been able to take a little bit more than that, maybe an 1/8 inch, but I'm still fairly nervous about running this thing too hard. This entire cutting process took about 10 minutes. This clip is sped up about 20 times the normal speed. To help with alignment for the other template that I'll cut that has the neck pocket and the pickup cavities, I decided I would also cut the bridge posts here. I think I can drop little dowel pins in there and it's going to make the alignment much easier. I ran out of time in the day on the first template, and so the next day I came back out and repeated the exact same process for the neck and for the body template that has the cavities and the neck pocket in it. You can see here I'm just getting the MDF to size. This is definitely the widest piece I've ever cut on the CNC here. It almost took up the entire x-axis. Thanks for joining me today as we cut some of the templates for this guitar. It's always satisfying to see the precision and the accuracy of this machine at work. In the next video, we'll be getting some of the wood ready to cut with these templates and starting the process of building the rest of the guitar. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot for watching.